affordable housing investments, you will get our podcast. Now, the reason I share this with you is because I want to share with you, hey, whatever impact you're trying to make with whatever population you're trying to do, and this applies to all podcasts, all businesses. If you're trying to show up in the new world with ChatGPT, because this is how you make an impact. If you don't have this set up in your for whatever content you're creating, then you are going to become invisible, right? So then I want to share with you, okay, well, how do I show up, right? How do I start becoming reference as the source for however ChatGPT answers their questions, right? So here I have, if I ask, hey, what are the best zip codes to invest in Detroit for Section 8? And is there a, everything else still being recorded? Okay, cool. Something wrong here, recording more smooth. I think I'm still online. Okay. I think I'm still, it's still going. All right. I am going to assume that things are still working because I can still see myself live on the other side. All right. So I'm going to keep on going. Now, when you see that these are the zip codes to invest in Detroit for Section 8, is there a podcast that discusses this? And as you go down, right, you see a bunch of these zip codes now popping up, right? They got roof style, they got bigger pockets forums, okay? Now that you got these podcasts in here, now look, this is not even about podcasts, but here are factors you want to overlay on the zip code data. Voucher demand and waitlist. This video above discusses 7-year waitlist. When you click on this link, it brings you to this podcast that I did with Stu, right? Isn't that cool? Like ChatGPT is referencing how you write your video descriptions and surfacing up so that people can learn from them, right? And this is all about, okay, well, how did they write about that podcast, right? And it's so important for you to put in questions and topics within the video descriptions themselves, right? I think right now, YouTube is probably more important than ever because a lot of people are searching YouTube right now specifically to get answers to questions, just like how it used to be, right? YouTube is a search engine. People go there to look for questions and look to go there for educated. Whereas sometimes people go to Instagram or TikTok to be entertained. When you go to YouTube, typically you go there to be educated. And this is the big difference of what you need to do to figure out whether or not this is the right path for you. All right. Now, I'm sharing this with you because one, look, I just released a new podcast today with Ashley Hamilton, and I've been playing around with all the different chapters, all the different titles. This is like, okay, these four zip codes that cash flow, right? What does that mean? How do I get attention towards this? And as you go through and you figure out, okay, well, how do I promote this podcast? How do I see what's going on? Where is my audience? Who's going to be interested in this episode? At some point, it matters less and less and less about the views, and it starts becoming mattering more and more and more as you figure out that people are going here for answers first. And this is where you want to show up on your client, investors, whatever it is. This is where you want to show up, right? Look, they're finding my podcast episode on Spotify. Look, this is literally happening right now. So think about what you're doing. Whoever you want to help, however you want to help them, this is the way to help, right? And another way I'm sharing and helping my podcast surface is now I'm going out and I'm answering questions specifically related to Section 8. So here's an example, right? This property is saying like, hey, I'm looking at properties with Section 8 tenants, no prior experience about what you're looking for. Super broad question, right? So I'm going to go to this question, and my AI agent has been trained on all my past podcast episodes. And what it essentially is doing is it's grabbing that question, it's putting it on a spreadsheet, it's giving me the URL so that I can go quickly to it. And then it's going to give me a drafted response And then this was what it was before I gave it feedback. Now I gave it feedback and now it's updated. So now going forward, it's going to answer the question like this, which is super cool because now I'm starting to do the unscalable, right? Right? This is the question that my ChatGPT drafted for, right? Now, I typically try to make sure, like, hey, there's always a section about tactical tips, right? I am a big proponent of giving somebody actual advice before they take any action. Now, the problem with Reddit questions, sometimes the questions are so broad that you don't really know how to answer them. But that's why I'm doing it. Okay. I typed it and I like to put in a little typo so that people don't think it's ChatGPT written. And this is why I post. This is how I post it. Right? If you have typos, people will believe that a human wrote it more so. And it's true. I reviewed it. Right? It's a fact. I've reviewed it. That was probably one of the words that I changed, to be honest with you. But the whole point of this exercise is so that one, people can start looking up what is the best podcast on affordable housing investments, and they'll find us so that they can get better, more tactical information so that they can continue showing up. All right. So hopefully this is helpful for everybody. I want to share with you tactical things that you can do right now to update your YouTube video descriptions for your own podcast to help whatever audience that you want to help. And two, start building out your AI agents, right? These are the new ways of how you're going to operate and how you're going to work. If you don't keep up with these skill set, it's almost as if you have an iPhone or like the iPhone just came up and you're trying to give it to your grandparents and they're like, what is this? Don't become that grandparent. You must work really hard to learn these new skills, learn these new technology, because otherwise you're going to be completely behind. And I would not want that for any one of you. All right. I hope you all have an amazing Monday. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 732. Have a good one, everybody.